Hey there and welcome. Ever feel like the airport is just this giant, confusing maze you have to solve before your vacation can even start? Well, you are definitely in the right place. Today, we're going to break it all down step by step so you can just breeze through the terminal feeling totally confident.
I mean, seriously, does just thinking about all those check-in lines, the security dance, and then trying to find your gate make your head spin? Yeah, you are not alone. But don't worry, we're going to swap all that stress for a super simple, clear plan. So let's get right into it.
All right, let's dive in. Your whole airport journey really just breaks down into 5 simple stages. We've got arrival and prep, then check-in, security screening, chilling at the gate, and finally, takeoff. See? It's basically a roadmap to a totally stress-free start to your trip. Okay, first up, the airport journey begins with arrival and prep. You know, a really smooth airport experience, it actually starts before you even set foot inside the terminal. Getting this part right really sets the tone for everything else.
So, before you even head out the door, there are 3 key things you've got to know. Which airline you're flying, what your terminal number is, and a rough idea of how long it'll take to get there. It's so much easier to tell your driver, hey, I'm flying Emirates from Terminal 2, right? That gets you to the exact right spot without any last-minute panic.
Okay, so you've arrived. Now it's time to head inside for the first big step, checking in your bags. The very first thing you're going to look for are those big signs for your airline's counter. That's where you'll drop off any big suitcases that need to go under the plane.
And a little pro tip, before you even get to the front of that line, have these 2 things out and in your hand. We're talking about your passport and your flight details. That could just be the confirmation email on your phone or a printout if you'd prefer. Honestly, being prepared is the absolute fastest way to sail through this part. And guess what? The very first thing the agent is going to say is pretty much always going to be some version of, "May I have your passport and flight details, please?" So when you have them ready to go, you've already aced the first interaction. No awkward fumbling through your bags required. Okay, so after they check your passport, they're going to need to weigh your big suitcase. It's just to make sure it's not over the weight limit. They'll point to the baggage scale right there at the counter. All you have to do is lift your bag onto it. It's a totally standard, super quick part of the whole thing. And once that's done, in exchange for your luggage, the agent will hand you your boarding pass. This thing is basically your golden ticket for the rest of the journey. You really want to look closely at 3 key pieces of information on it: your gate number, your seat number, and, this one's super important, your boarding time. They're also going to give you this little sticker, right? They usually stick it on the back of your boarding pass or passport. That's your baggage claim ticket. Think of it as the receipt for your check bag. You're going to need it when you land to make sure you grab the right suitcase, so tuck it away somewhere safe. All right, checked in? Awesome. Now it's time for the next big milestone, navigating airport security. Just start following the signs that say departures. Now, I know this part can look a little intimidating with all the lines and machines, but I promise it's actually a really straightforward process. You can really just break the whole security thing down into 4 easy steps. 1, you show your boarding pass and passport to an officer. 2, you put your carry-on bags and a few other items into those plastic trays. 3, you walk through the scanner. And 4, you just grab all your stuff on the other side. See, that's it. Now, probably the biggest question people have here is, what exactly do I need to take out of my bag? Well, here's a good rule of thumb. Any big electronics, like your laptop or phone, have to go in a tray. Same for metal things, like your watch or your belt. But everything else, your wallet, a book, your snacks, all that stuff can just stay put right inside your bag. And just like that, you're through security. Congratulations. Welcome to the departure lounge. This is pretty much the final stretch. So your main mission now is just to find that gate number that's on your boarding pass, walk over there, and then you can finally relax until it's time to board. Now, while you're waiting, you definitely want to keep your ears open. You'll hear announcements over the speakers, kind of like this one. When you hear a final boarding call, that is exactly what it sounds like. It's your last chance to get on that plane. And that's precisely why it's so important to get to your gate with plenty of time to spare. And hey, one last little tip for this part. When they finally call your boarding group to line up, you're going to need that boarding pass and your passport one last time. The gate agent needs to scan it. So whatever you do, don't bury them at the bottom of your bag. Keep them somewhere you can grab them easily. Okay, you're on the plane. You found your seat, you've put your bag in the overhead bin. Now you can finally sit down, take a breath, and get ready for the main event, takeoff. There are just a couple of final things that'll happen before you're actually up in the air. You'll almost always hear an announcement from the cockpit, the captain speaking. They'll welcome you aboard and give you some of the key details about the flight you're about to take. One of those things they'll mention is your cruising altitude. So the captain might say you'll be flying at something like 35,000 feet. It's kind of cool. It gives you a sense of just how high up you're going to be, just soaring way above the clouds.
They'll also tell you the estimated flight time. So if you hear it's going to be a 4.5-hour flight, you can start planning, right? You'll know if you have time for a movie, or maybe to get some work done, or just take a nice long nap.
And finally, the very last thing the flight attendants will ask you to do before the plane pushes back from the gate is to switch all of your electronic devices to airplane mode. This is a really important safety step, so just make sure your phone, your tablet, everything is switched over.
So, let's wrap this all up. What are the real keys to a super smooth trip? Well, 1. Arrive early. 2. Keep your documents organized and easy to grab. 3. Listen for those announcements. And 4, and this is a big one, if you're ever lost or confused, just ask for help. Seriously, that's what all the airport staff are there for.
And that's really it. From the drop-off curb all the way to the clouds, you now have the complete roadmap. See? The airport isn't some crazy maze after all. It's just a series of simple, logical steps. So now that you're an airport pro, the only question left is, where will you go next?